to another Granny Square Tuesday. I'm trying to, you know, get this book in frame the right way. So if you're new to my channel, this is a series that I started where I am going through this book, and I am making up the floral granny squares so that I can eventually make a floral type spring throw. This is my first real experience with granny squares. Sorry about that, guys. This is a great book, especially if you're just kind of starting out with granny squares. It's got a lot of different kinds of granny squares, 2 different sizes. There's, I think, 23 different designers in this book. I can't talk positive enough about this book. The only problems that I've run into with this book is sometimes the written pattern is a little bit difficult to understand, but it does come with graphs. So I'll show you here in a minute. So this week is actually week 8, and I think it's week 8. Yeah, week 7 and 8 were designed by the same person. So let me find that. Where is it? There it is. So I'm going to show you what their version of this square looks like. This is their version. And it is by the same person as last week. So you can see they do have a graph to refer to in case the instructions are a little bit too hard to understand, because every now and then I've run into a few problems where I just couldn't understand what the written pattern was saying. So here is my version of that same square. It is called the Gilwen square. I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison between this week's square, which is this one, and last week's square, just because they are done by the same designer. So let me, oh, that's the wrong way. Let me zoom out a little bit. So here is last week's square. Here they are side by side. Maybe I can move the camera over a little bit like this. So yeah, last week I decided to do purple. This week I decided to do blue. But you can see they have that same outside border. This is the same. And really the only difference between these 2 squares is the flower that's in the center. These are all trebles. And see, last week I went ahead and I did all of the flower, all of the petals and whatnot, all in the same color. Excuse me. This week, I did go ahead and do just the leaves, because this stuff is actually supposed to be like part of the background. At least I think. But I did do this one a little bit more like what was pictured in the book. And I carried this yarn around. This is my neutral color that I decided to use for the background of the blanket. Here is the back. So, surprisingly, huge surprise on this one. You can see where I carried over with the camera that I can't figure out how to work. So, this green, I actually carried all the way around. And you can see it poking out like right here. Oh, it helps if it's in screen. On the screen you can see it poking out like right there. However, I didn't go ahead and weave that in, and I didn't weave it in because I carried it over all the way around. Same with these. I think this is, I think it only actually goes through 2 petals, but probably I'm just going to go ahead and snip it off right here. You know, then I just have these to weave in, and these, I don't know, I may just snip these off here. I may try to weave them in a little bit. I haven't really made up my mind on that, but this is what the back of this one looks like. That being said, I don't have very much to do on the back of this one compared to this one where I have quite a few tails to weave in. And of course I have that corner. Now on this week's, I am a little bit happier with how the ending corner went. It doesn't have quite as big a gap, but I still use that chain 3 method there. If you guys watched last week, I kind of complained a little bit about this gap that happens when you use a chain 3 because there's a big gap there. And I guess my tension was just tighter when I made this blue one because it is a little bit smaller than the purple one. Not by much, but it is a little bit smaller. So, yeah, there's that for this week's flower design. Next week will be week 9, and I'll be able to show you guys what like the last 6 of them looked like. So I'm a little excited to do that. I haven't seen all my squares in a while, so I kind of want to see what they look like laid out. Probably before I go to join these squares, I'll be showing you guys what, I'll do a short video or something to show you what they look like laid out. But most likely I'm just going to be joining them in a random order. It's definitely not going to be chronological order. I am, however, making these squares in the book chronologically. So, you know, depending on which one you're looking at, if it's week 1 came before, you know, week 2 square in the book as well. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. But anyways, guys, I am going to let you go for now. I've got a couple of other videos to film today, and I will see you guys probably maybe for Whip Wednesday. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, guys, see y'all later. Thanks for coming. Bye.